Good morning, Crabby Bill here in the basement workshop. And as you can see, I have my Puder cable 10-inch compound miter saw that is giving me a problem. I have 9 pieces of molding left to cut, and when I went to cut the molding, the blade just spins freely. Now it appears that there's no stop. It will begin to spin, and as soon as you try to cut something, it just stops spinning. So let me show you what it's doing here. As soon as you try to cut, it stops. I'm going to take this apart, see what I could do. I went online, I couldn't find anything other than a video saying that they're having the same problem. I'm going to take this apart, see what happens, because it's not that expensive, the machine, and I couldn't find a repair facility in the area. I don't want to spend a couple $100 to have this chop saw fixed when I can buy a new one for less. I'm not a professional. I don't use it that often. I was using it at the cabin. 9 pieces of molding left, and then this happens. So I'm going to get set up here, try to take it apart. I'm going to videotape it, see if we can figure it out, and if I do, I'll post the video. Get it unplugged. And let's see what we can do here. The automatic stop, which should lock the blade so that you could take it off, is also not working. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to get the blade off. I'll try to lock it in place with some clamps here. Little extra light. One, two, three, 4. Not sure if that center one needs to come out. It does not, but I do need to take this off. There's a screw here holding the wire in place. We'll see what happens here. I'm not sure if I'll even be able to get this thing put back together. That doesn't look good inside, I can tell you that. There's a rubber gasket in there that's all chewed up. Lower this. Take some of the pressure off of this wire. This is what we have here. Lots of grease. This is the button that doesn't seem to be working. I'm going to have to get a paper towel here. Get some of this grease off so I can see what I'm looking at. But the spindle is on this bottom lug and just spins free. It should turn with those cogs, or whatever they're called. I want to call them cogs. If you know what they're called, put it in the comments. Let me get some paper towels to get this grease off of here. On here. I'll put it back when I'm done. Yeah, that fit perfect. You clean these gears off. I have here. Well, that's not working. What else do I have? Try a different can. Can't shake my elbow like that. Elbows are still hurting. It's turning now. You can see it's this bottom one. So let's see if I can show you what's happening. All right. So, when you turn the spindle, if you put any kind of resistance on it, I need an extra set of hands here. It's not, as long as you do it lightly, everything spins fine. But if you put the slightest tension on it, oh, see, now it's in place. Oh, there, it's spinning free again. I have to try to figure out how to take that spindle off. There is a screw there. And there's a bolt holding the top one on. Let's see what we have. I want to try moving this camera over again. I don't know if it's capturing anything. Came right off. This may never go back together again. Oh, I see some kind of a clamp in there. But that definitely needs to come off, because that is where my problem is. It's amazing the number of YouTube videos out there, and I couldn't find one showing this problem, or showing how to fix this problem. So I got the little clamp off, and I know there's a tool for that, but of course I don't have one. So I had to use a razor blade, an ice pick, and a tiny screwdriver. So I still have play in here. There's something still holding this in place. But if you put the slightest bit of tension on, this is not staying tight to this. There should be some kind of a lock in there. And I'm seeing a little tiny slot here. And I'm wondering if that doesn't appear to be anything in there. And I'm wondering if that's what locks that in place. I should have a parts diagram up in front of me, but I don't. I'm trying to get that off the spindle. Well, the wheel is off. And there's another one of those little clamps in there. And the bearing. I cleaned it off, but this part here is spinning freely. I could set this camera up for you so I could use two hands to try to figure this out here. No, it's not. It doesn't need to come off any further than that. There's a tiny little let's see it right there, and it looks like that's that piece right there is what locks it onto this shaft. This is all nice and tight. There's no sense in taking that off any further, but this is what is spinning free. Let's see it better from this side, maybe. Let's see if I can get that to come out. And give it a couple of taps. I had a tiny screwdriver here that I was using, which I no longer see. Not sure what I did with it. That wants to come out. And I'm wondering, see? So it just spins freely. It shouldn't be. That should be locked in place. Can't imagine what happened to that screwdriver. Oh, look at that. It appears that it's tightening that up. That shaft is not moving at all. I'll try to zoom in here for you. But this is not, this is nice and tight now, which it had not been. Here's the big question. Can we get this put back together? There's a little bit of play in there. So I imagine this little clamp is going to be my problem. Need to figure out how I can get it on there. So that clamp is now locked in place. All right. Ugh. This one. Oh, man. This may hold up. And I took a small tiny little clamp out of there. And I need to find it to put it back. It's this one here. This locks the spindle into place. It sure does. If you know what the name of that little piece of metal is, it's rectangular, it's very small, and if there's a slot like this, and that slides in there, and then it's locking that piece to the shaft. I need to... I don't like that that's spinning again. Some clamps on here again. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. I have to turn the big light out. Oh, man, my stinking elbow still hurts. I don't want to stand in front of it. I don't want to stand in front of it. I want to be off to the side. Same problem. At some point, it went back to the same problem. Well, I was excited there for a little bit. Get this unplugged. Did it again. So I know where the problem is. And when I put that, when I hammered that little piece in the slot, it locked the blade in place, or locked the spindle. Does that have to come out and be replaced? Crabby's popping in for a visit. Yes. We're staying home this weekend because Crabby's mom is not feeling well. She had a accident and she fell and hit her head and broke her elbow. So Crabby is now coming down to let me know she's heading over to the rehabilitation center where her mom is, and she'll spend the day with her. We'll check back in a minute. All right, so I'm taking it apart again. Back to this. Still showing the same problem. This spindle is not locking down in place. When you strike that keyhole, I think that's what it's called, I'm not sure, knock it into place a little bit, it locks it in there. So I'm going to try to just move this little clip out of the way a hair, hit it, and see what happens. I just spent over an hour in Lowe's and couldn't come up with anything other than putting some Loctite on this. I came home and just spent maybe another hour upstairs on the computer trying to find a proper parts diagram. Very difficult. And when I think I found the parts, or the diagram, it showed that the parts were obsolete. They're no longer manufactured and no longer available. But most of the motors that I found went this way, not this way. So technical terms there, this way and this way. So I think I'm going to put some Loctite on this, put it back together, hope for the best. If that doesn't work, I kind of have an idea what I need, and I'm just going to keep searching the internet. I'm not sure which way this pin goes. Back on. It looks like the one side is pretty worn down, where it's been rubbing on the shaft. So I'm going to put it in. I'm going to try to hammer it into place, but first I'm going to put some Loctite on it. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed, everybody. I do believe we know the problem. Not that we had the perfect answer for the problem, but now that I know how it comes apart and how to put it back together, I can search high and low for a replacement part. So again, I'm not going to stand in front of the blade, although it does appear that it's working. I let it set up for a while. I just took the wet saw out for my buddy and tried it out, filled it, spilt water all over the floor, going to fill the reservoir on it, and just called him up. He does want to use it, so we'll throw it in my truck, take it to work on Monday, give it to him. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to have to unplug a light. At least the laser works. Okay, folks, hands are out of the way. Started to work, then it died. Started to work, and then it died. Great, 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 great. And the more you turn it, the lock won't engage. utter fail. I'm going to have to get online, see what I could do. I'd like to replace this stop here too. Let me unplug this. See, the stop doesn't want to engage either. Footer cable, you're killing me. Killing me. I'm not even going to put my tools away. I'm going to leave them all out. Everything that I needed. I'm going to leave them out. I'm going to get online and see if I can find out what that little keyhole piece is. Whatever that is. Why is it not locking on that shaft? So I'm done for the day. Let's move on to the next project.